Okay, so welcome to another XLM update. This is an important update. I really need to discuss the waves at large and small degree. We'll start with a small degree, and things are looking pretty good. They are following along nicely, except there could be a change to back to the old idea when it comes to the pattern. So remember when I said that, oh, hang on, I think that maybe what's happening here is that this is now a D wave that's going to break the high, etc. I think that could be wrong, right? I think that my original count was right, right? I think that I'm beginning to think that it was right in that we had an ABC and we had that D move that happened back here, right? And this was an E wave down that on the Bybit chart, like I said, went lower. Now I still think this is a 5 wave move. That hasn't changed. Remember, fractal patterns. The correction of a wave B is the same as a wave 2, right? Now, I just posted a chart, a video on Bitcoin to wind back and realize I made a mistake by thinking this is time for mega bull, right? Mega bullishness. It's probably not. And I'm going to touch on the reason why in a minute as I start off with this and then move to the higher degree. So, when it comes to this particular move now, okay, this is interchangeable with the basically a wave 1 of a wave 3, right? So this could be the beginning of a major move. Unfortunately, the stop is still down at the lows. So we can't really do anything about that. Or can we? It depends. So at the moment, the count appears to be that the move happening now to the downside is the end of wave 2, right? So, in other words, when we break that high, we might create new support, right? Now, given that this is already getting a little bit hairy and risky, I would say just leave it at the lows, right? You can move it up when we break the highs if you choose. I don't see anything wrong with that personally. I think that the move that we saw at the lows, and I'll just zoom into the 15-minute chart, right? I think that what we saw here was an a B, a C, and this whole thing is a D. And this is the E wave now. So as soon as we break this low, there's a chance that you can move your stop to the low it creates after we break the high, right? That seems plausible to me, except it's still a bit risky, right? It's not 100%. So at this stage, I'm going to leave it because there's something else you need to know, right? I'm happy to leave it there to take a profit at this point, in which I'll get to in a minute. So let's go to the daily chart for a moment. And I haven't really changed the labels yet. I thought I'd actually do that live. And this is very interesting. There's a few components that I want to break apart here. The first one is this move. Remember when I said that this was a zigzag? I don't know if you've been around for a while, but I did say that this looked like a zigzag. Coming back and pouring over the waves again, there's a good chance, I'm saying better than average chance, more than likely chance, that this is not an AB, but rather this is a wave A, zigzag, right? So you're probably thinking, what does that mean? Well, it means that this is not a C wave down here. The C wave happened here, right? Stick with me. The A wave happened down here. Big wave A. Still a wave D at the larger degree, absolutely. I still believe that. But this means that the bounce was a B, right? Let's just borrow some things from over here. We don't really need this at this point, just for this, just from what I'm showing you, right? Okay, this is not a wave one. This is a wave D in progress, right? See how I've got the little line here? This is a measurement, right? Except you'd measure it from there. That means that what we're seeing now is XLM's version of wave D, right? Forget about this inverse head and shoulder crap for a minute, right? That's irrelevant at this point, okay? This means that we are about to see a move up that equals the length of that spike up. And I believe that a recession will hit around that time and it will send prices back down, right? Like a pump and dump. You could say it's even at the same time as Soroban gets implemented, Protocol 20 or whatever the hell it is, right? Like it's almost like a sell the news things type of thing, but it's not just that. I think it's happening to Bitcoin as well, right? Check out the video below where I talk about the bull trap. I think this is a bull trap incoming, right? Now, another reason why I think this is very plausible is because what what sets off these bull markets to begin with? It's usually some kind of recession, right? Back in 2020, we had the pandemic. That was a recession, right? Now, just because, okay, look, even Bitcoin hasn't run a C wave yet. It's just a big coin, all right? It's the granddaddy of all cryptos, right? But it still did produce a large D wave. Now, this moving back up to this level is still a large D wave, right? It is. I mean, look at B wave. That was tiny. C wave. This, I believe, is going to be a D wave, C wave, the C wave of a D wave, right? With the A wave being, look, let me just borrow some waves here so I can illustrate this for you. Now, the internals of this move, I still believe that they're accurate. I don't have any doubt with the internals here. That's fine. It's more the larger pattern. So that means that we had a B wave end. We had the B wave end at the lows there. It wasn't a wave two, right? Not a wave two, a wave B. Like I keep saying, these corrections happen in wave Bs, right? Wave twos and wave fours. So the correction is the same. Also, if we did move up like this, why would this move start off like this in this particular way, right? Think about this for a sec. Have a look at, let me just turn off this, right? Have a look at how this started down here versus how this is starting down here, right? This is not a wave three starting off. The way that it's starting off now, it's not a wave three, right? Wave three should be much sharper to begin with, which means that we need to be really careful once the larger move does start, right? And I have my ideas about how we're going to tackle that. But for now, we need to sort of try and understand that the D wave in XLM is tiny compared to Bitcoin. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. But the truth is that we could still make some profit in this move that's already underway. Okay. In terms of percent, well, let's have a look. How much percent can you get out of this move from the current level to where we're going? It's about 130% from current level, right? That's not too bad, considering that we could be looking at a recession that pulls it back lower. Okay. Now, this is okay as a setup for either, well, obviously trading it back up when the real move does begin. But what about if there happens to be a pretty decent setup to short the market, right? Which may or may not happen. I don't know. We need to wait and see how that looks at the time in order to make that call, right? Shorting a market is not very easy, but there are some things that I can do in order to prepare for it, and that is keeping track of every single wave and knowing which levels need to be broken in order to look for a setup in order to short it. So that much I can offer, that's fine. But I do think that if we don't fall back as low as where we started from, there is a good chance that XLM may go further than $3 moving forward, depending on where we fall back down towards, right? I don't think that we're going to go back to the lows. I really just don't think that's going to happen. I don't know. I have a feeling. Obviously, we don't know that, but the higher it ends, right, the bigger the chance that it will go even higher when it starts. Yes, we'll be starting a bit higher than down below, but that's okay because these moves are measured, and don't forget that wave A was a weak move. It does not mean that the next move will be as weak. And I have my theories around why that is, and I'll post them in a separate video. I just need to post another video about the stock market before I can make that type of video. Because the truth is that this A wave here happened during a bear market rally. But the coming move won't be a bear market rally. It'll actually be a real rally. But we need to see this come back down. So it could exceed that by, a good amount. It doesn't mean it's not a wave D. We just need to be patient and look for all the clues along the way. And that's the best we can really do. There's nothing else that we're going to be able to do to avoid a recession for starters. And also, look, I think it's good to be ahead of the curve, make some money, and stay in the game. It wouldn't be good if you made money on the way up only to lose it again because we just wanted to hold on, right? We just thought we'd hold on. It's going to bounce. I don't believe in doing that. I think taking profit is very good, especially if you hit some kind of target, and you have a good reason to take your profit. Now, I don't. If this thing was going to continue, of course, absolutely, hold on for dear life. But when I start to see things like this, I start to realize that when I trade, I look harder at the waves and I put two and two together. I look around, I think about it, I go back and forth. I sometimes I even, pace up and down, all that sort of thing. Like I'm really starting to understand that, you know, the bull market in stocks is not transferring over to cryptos, but it doesn't mean that some coins haven't rallied a lot, right? But I think it's a bull trap. So stick with me on this one. I'm going to post ideas and updates. We still have to make this run to the C wave to 0.273, and I'll keep you updated. Thanks for watching.